Hi folks, it is Thursday, and I figured today we would just do a Q&A session because, in all honesty, I have not done one in a little while, in a few weeks now, and so I felt it was time to just jump in and do some more Q&A, because we've been piling up with these questions, and I've been meaning to get through them, and yeah, I'm going to jump into them right now. If you want to send me any questions, the Patreon is down below. That is the mode through which I get my questions. And not only do you get to send me questions, you also get to help the channel, and you get a entry into the prize draw, which will be on the 6th, a month from today, the 6th of August. We will be doing our next part of the prize draw. It is going to be pretty awesome. £50 worth of free models could be on its way to you if you join that prize draw. And the second prize is a Dark Angels Command box set. So that will be on its way to you as well if you win the prize draw. The only way to be involved is to become a member of the channel or to become a patron. Either way, you help support the channel and you make sure I'm not relying on ad revenue or anything as fluctuating as that going forwards. So thank you very much. So, let's jump right in, shall we? It's been a busy old day here, and I love doing Q&A videos. Q&A videos are my favourite things to do. Because I get to sit here, without a script, a cup of tea in my hand, like I used to, like the good old days. Remember the good old days of the channel, when I just would do hardly any work at all, and I just turn up and say my piece and leave? That was nice. These days I've got to cite things, apparently. Alright, anyway. I never name anybody in these questions, mainly because they're patrons, and some of them use their real names, so I don't really want to do that. And some of these are quite personal, so I don't want to dox anybody either. Unlike Hobby Nightmares that go on a one-on-one basis, so, you know, I do 2 or 3 Hobby Nightmares per video, so I'm able to verify with everybody whether they want their names to be used. It's harder to do that when you've got 6, 7, 8 questions to do per QA, you know what I mean? Anyway, jumping in. Our first question is, hey Northern Bloke. Hey dude, fun fact, my university team, gaming, that means Steady used to do, and we still do it whenever we're playing a game, is called the Northern Blokes. So there you go. Just needed a bit of general heartbreak advice, and I will keep it short, as this is a Q&A question and not a nightmare. Okay. A girl I love dearly, who was into the hobby, has an amazing time with me when we go out, and who I was thinking of asking to marry me, suddenly broke things off last week. I'm totally lost. What do I do? Everything seemed fine, in all honesty. A few niggles here and there, but normal couple stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary. And I thought we loved each other deep down. What the hell is going on? Alright, so that kicks me right in the feels, because I've been in that situation. I have been in that situation, and it's not fun. It is not fun at all. You have my empathy. You really do, because that is not a great place to be. That is not a great place to be at all. If you didn't know, you should do if you watch the channel for a little while, but I'll go over it. I was in the States a while ago, and I literally was getting married over there to somebody, and she was essentially the woman of your dreams. Do you know what I mean? Like, gorgeous, intelligent, loved Tolkien, loved fantasy literature, right? From a good background, very upper middle class, suburban American, Jewish background, right? So lots of really cool people that she knew and that her family knew who could help you out with anything. It was the perfect scenario. Her family loved me. You know, we got along really, really well. They thought, oh my God, thank God, you know, she's with a normal guy, and you know, it's going to go great. And she broke things off. Maybe 3 or 4 months after I moved to the States, I uprooted my entire life, and I moved to the United States. Same as you, really, same as you. Well, we had a few arguments here and there, but we were living on top of each other at that stage. So I thought, well, yeah, we're doing one small argument a month, basically. Do you know what I mean? And I thought we're doing pretty well for 2 people living on top of each other all the time, because we're living in her parents' place, looking for our own place. And, you know, she broke things off. She couldn't stay the course. She just couldn't go with it, right? And that absolutely crushed me. So I get what you're doing now. I get what you're feeling. I went on long walks in the States because I was on my own. I had no family there. And let's be honest, her family are her family. They're not going to come down on my side. So I was living in a house with people who basically didn't want me there anymore. Like their daughter had decided she didn't want to marry me. So off you go. You know, you shouldn't be here anymore. Her dad was amazing, was really, really cool. And he always said, look, you know, that this was her decision. I think she's making a mistake. So you now live here. She is now a guest. And it was a lovely thing for him to say, but, you know, there's still two other people, her mum and her sister, living there. I was never going to win that battle, you know what I mean? So I had to live in a house where I was persona non grata, basically, whilst I was there for the last 6-7 weeks, which was awful. It was torture. I hated it. There were aspects to my time over there I liked. I met somebody else in those 6 weeks. Just as a getting over somebody fling, you know, just as a something like that. Yeah, we were both that to each other actually, because she was just divorced as well. So we were just a bit of companionship. That was good, but aside from that, it was kind of like teasing me with what I could have had, because that other girl was amazing as well. That other girl was a straight 10, and her family were lovely, really liked me. She was really, really cool, and I thought I could marry this one as well. I could literally just marry this one. And from what I know so far, do you know what I mean? I could just literally marry this one if it went on this way. But I know I've got to go home because my visa is up. I'm not getting married. I've got to go home. And it was an awful situation to be in. Since I've gotten back home, I've been in therapy and I've started realizing, you know, what I do have. And what I do have is an amazing job as an educator. I've got a YouTube channel where I'm actually helping people, which is something that when I've got nothing else and I'm standing there in the shower thinking, my God, that was a bad day. If my channel's helped people, that literally just makes things okay. It's always that bottom thing that it's always going to be there. It's like a mattress. You know, I don't fall on the floor anymore. I fall on this mattress, and the mattress is called helping you guys out. So trust me, I've been where you are. It's not fun. It is a shitty, shitty place to be. What do you do? Mate, there's nothing much you can do. This is over. And that's going to be, again, I've got to give you medicine straight. This is over. Even if she comes back to you and says, hey, I made a mistake. No, she didn't. She didn't. She knew what she was doing, dude. She knew what she was doing. She made that decision. Are you going to go the rest of your life going to work and wondering if you're going to come home to her crying, saying she wants to end things over again? Do you want to live like that? I couldn't. I had to make that choice. I don't know what your girl looks like, but mine was model capacity, right? Curvy, big tits, flat tummy, round bottom, raven locks, gorgeous smile, high cheekbones, like literally from a modelling catalogue. Mediterranean, olive skin, like literally, right? And I had to walk away from that. I had to go, no. Even if she came back, I'd have to say no. I would have to say no. It took therapy to get me there, because I would have taken her back. Even when I came back to the UK, I would have taken her back. But after therapy, I'm like, no, I couldn't. I couldn't live my entire life. What if you have another bad day and I come home and you don't want to be here anymore again? What if we've got kids and you do that? You know? For her to make that decision, that's her bed, she now has to lie in it. You need to walk away. That is the hardest thing you're ever going to have to do, probably, hopefully, in your life. Okay? Is walk away from somebody you feel utterly deeply for because they've decided to end things. So even if she comes back, you need to stay strong and say, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right? The only time you should even entertain getting back with that person is if years have passed and you're both different people now, and then you reconvene and you talk and you decide to do it again. That's fine. No problem. That happens. You see that happen in relationships all the time. Like, two people meet, it's not the right time for them right then. So they walk off in different directions, and they reconvene 2 or 3, 4, 5 years later. They're both different people, both from different experiences, and they realise, yeah, actually, this was right all along. We should have done this. And they end up together, right? Do not live the rest of your life waiting for that. Because 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen. Okay? If she's made this decision, this is a huge thing for a woman to do. Huge. The reason why I couldn't really forgive my ex was because a woman doesn't just come to this conclusion overnight. This is something that you think of for months and months and months and months and months before you do it. If you're engaged to somebody. And the fact that she let me go to the United States, you know, before doing it, that was unforgivable for me. I was no, you've left me high and dry in a country I don't know, with no friends, with no nothing, and you just don't give a shit. You couldn't give a monkeys about me as long as you get what you want, which is, you know, you're not ready to get married. Fine, then what do I do? You know? Life is cruel, life is hard, and sometimes relationships are hard and cruel as well. Walk away, right? And here's the thing. Here's the other thing. You have to cry, dude. I know it's going to sound awful, and it's not something that you would want a guy telling you, but you have to cry. You have to get down there, get to the gym, and cry. Get on that treadmill and cry. I've seen this happen before. I've seen this happen in the gym. Like, one dude just walking on the treadmill, and he's just blubbing. He's blubbing. Most of the dudes in there will look over and come over and slap you on the back and go, "You alright, mate? What's going on?" Because they know. Every man in that gym, most of the men in that gym are there to better themselves through trauma. Something's happened to them. Something's happened to them, and they're there to heal their bodies. And in healing their bodies by getting ripped, by getting toned, by dropping a bit of weight, even if it's a pound of weight, they're exercising that pain from their bodies, that emotional torment. That's what men do, right? They go on walks, they go on runs. When I came back to the UK, I was the fittest I'd ever been within like 6 or 7 months. Within 6 or 7 months, I'd been going on runs, I've been on the treadmill, I've been doing weights. You know, I look like the shit. I put that back on again when I became okay. I became normal again. But like for a while there, I was like shredded. You know, that's what guys do. Like they go in there and so you need to let it out, even if it's on your own. You need to cry when you feel like you need to cry. Let it out. Let it go. I'm not saying blub all the time. You know, that's not healthy. But when it comes and it's there and you're in the shower, you're on your own or whatever, let it out. Have a good cry. Acknowledge the pain. It gets better. It does. The amount of times I've had a crying fit after that breakup, I had a crying fit, and then I went back to bed and I went straight to sleep because the emotions purged. It's out. It's still there, like it's still bubbling there, you know. But it's like it's like an eruption. You know what I mean? Like it gets bigger and bigger and bigger till it explodes. But when it's exploded, it's got to fill up again, so it's empty. Do you know what I mean? So you can go to sleep or you can get on with your day. That's how you get out. That's how you get through it. When it's that raw, you just let it out when you need to. You go somewhere, it's private, you let it out, and then you pat yourself down and get on with your day. And eventually, when they say time is the greatest healer, I hate that phrase because it means you've got to be patient. But it's true. It is true. Time is the greatest healer. The more time passes, the more you're going to be okay. Alright? You need to let it out, get on with it, and then get yourself to the gym. Get yourself to the gym, or get yourself somewhere where you can go for a walk or a run. Lose a pound or two. Doesn't have to be a complete transformation. Lose a pound or two. Focus your pain into something like I'll show her energy. That's what you need. You need a bit of I'll fucking show her. When she sees me again, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be looking good. I'm going to be smelling good. I'm going to be groomed well. You know, my beard's going to be just right. I'm going to have my hair just right. I'm going to look like the shit. And then, when you feel ready, right? When you feel like the pain isn't quite as pronounced as it used to be, go out there, find some women and talk some shit. Talk some shit. Practice, 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 practice. Get out there and get reps. Even if you have to talk to men first. The best way to pull women is to go out and pull men first. I don't mean take them home. I mean if you see a group of dudes, go over to them and ask them how their day is when you're in a bar. Ask them what the football score was. Things like that. Blokes will talk to you. Blokes will just go, all right, mate, yeah, no problem, yeah, blah, blah, blah. They will just literally have a word with you. They don't give a shit. The more you do that and you're not rejected from a group, the more your confidence will grow, and eventually you'll be approaching a group of men and women. And eventually you'll be approaching a group of women. And eventually you'll be approaching the one woman you actually like in the bar, and you're able to talk to her, charm her, and literally have a good time, right? I'm not saying you're going to take her home, I mean you just have a good time. So you get that bunts in your self-worth of like, you know, this beautiful woman enjoyed spending time with me. As much as we don't like to admit it, men do accredit their self-worth most of the time to how many women they can get in the sack. Or how many women they can make interested in them if they're not in a position to get them in the sack. Every dude I know who's in a relationship does that. Every dude I know who's in a relationship, when they go out, they will try to make women interested in them. They won't push it any further, but they will talk to them, they will flirt with them, and they'll go, look, I've still got it. I've still got it, I can still do it, you know. And there is nothing a woman finds more attractive than when other women are attracted to you. There's nothing more that, dude, it's ridiculous, right? If you go out with your girlfriend and other women are giving you attention, you're getting laid. Like, you're getting laid. Like, there's no, if she's able to, bodily, you know, if she's not on a period or anything, you are getting laid. Because, especially, you know, if she likes you, you know, and she's with you, and she sees other women are giving you attention and looking over at you all the time, and they're trying to figure out whether you're with her or not. One, she's going to make a show of you in there. She's going to, like, pull you close to her. She's going to kiss you. She's going to be all over you because she wants everybody in there, all the women, to know, hey, back off. And number two, you're getting laid. Those are the two things that are going to happen to you right now. So anyway, I've gone off the subject, but yeah, that's what you should do in that order. Okay? Cry a lot. Move on. Acknowledge the pain. Acknowledge the hurt. Work on yourself. Get to the gym. Do some walking. Do some running. Do some weights. Do whatever you need to do. Even if it's lose a pound of weight. Even if it's that. Or put on a pound of muscle. Doesn't matter. As long as there's progress being made. Doesn't matter. Channel your pain into something more positive. Then when you feel ready, you feel like the edge has been taken off of the sunburn that is this heartbreak, go out and start talking shit. Start seeing what's out there. Start building yourself up as a social person again. That's what I would do. Alright? Okay, moving on. That was the question 1, Jesus. Question 2. Yo North, looking at the responses for the women in the hobby video. Oh my god, here we go. Looking at the responses for the women in the hobby video, and I am a bit confused. Yeah, you and me both, brother. Do those people not want women here, or like, what's happening here? Are they in the Discord? I've not seen that kind of sentiment about the place at all. People talking about the comments you showed being just a joke, or grow a thicker skin, and accusing you of being a simp for asking folks like that to stop driving women away from the hobby seems kind of counterproductive to people who want to get laid. Exactly. Right, okay. Is that phenomenon bigger than what I originally thought in the hobby? I thought the hobby was a place for all if you came here with good intentions. I am not talking about manipulative... My voice today, dude. I wish I would fuck off sometimes. Not talking about manipulative women here who are nerd chasers. I mean the ones who are here to paint and roll some dice. Because the comments over there show that a majority of people, even on a, shall we say, even-handed channel like yours, feel like women shouldn't be here. Am I going over the top? A little bit. I don't think it shows that people don't want women here. I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's more of a fact of I have read all the comments, by the way, and after I've replied to 3 or 4 of them, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not replying to the same comment over and over and over again by different people. I think it's more of a, and I even said this at the start of the video, it's more of a, how dare you take their side? You know? How dare you? You're either with us or you're with them. You can't be with both. I think that's the prevailing attitude of most dudes who are commenting stuff like, you know, oh, get over it, or, you know, why are you simping, why are you doing this, why are you doing that? I think a lot of it is generally, you know, you're supposed to be on our side. Why are you giving them any credence? So, I've said this, but the thing is, right, and this is the thing that pisses me off about people who are on the extremes. You can give them 9 out of 10. You can, like, give them 9 bits of attention out of 10. You can say, you're right, these 9 times. They'll go, yes! And then you go, but there's this one time when you're not right. And we need to be better there. They'll go, how dare you! How dare you! You can't say that to us! They shouldn't... You know, and they go into meltdown mode, right? They go into utter meltdown mode. Both sides do that, by the way. I've seen guys who are very simpy, say one thing about male rights, and it's like, oh, how dare you! You know, it's like, did you not hear me say the other 9 things that were in your favour? No? Okay, fine. I'm exactly the same on reverse. I'm a simp for guys. I'm about male mental health. I think the place of a man in the world is getting worse, not better. Okay? We are seeing a vastly disproportionate amount of systems in the world that are geared towards helping women and not helping men. Education being one of them. Boys should go to school 1 or 2 years after girls. Because girls, they start school and they are hitting the ground running because they develop mentally quicker than boys. So they hit the ground running and they outpace them, and that's why they're outpaced throughout their entire careers in education. Boys should start school 2, maybe even 3 years after girls, on the whole. Then they are operating on a similar level. They're operating on nearly the same level. You will see the grades of everybody even out if you did that. I'm telling you now, you would. From an educator, I'm telling you now, that's how it would happen, right? Sorry about that. Is that work? No, it is not. If it's not work, I'm not answering it. So yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, from one educator, look, I'm telling you now, if you did that, if you made sure that we had boys attending school a year or 2 later than girls, maybe even 3 years later than girls, at the start, you would claw that deficit back. They will never do that, because that's a change that would benefit boys. And the political climate right now isn't about benefiting boys or men. As somebody who is a father who almost never gets to see his child, I'm telling you now, the system is not meant to handle men. I try everything I can do to see my kid as often as I can, and I get the rug pulled out from under me all of the time. And whenever I say, hey, I'd quite like to see my daughter, please, I'd quite like to, be involved and be there. I've been trying their entire life. Why can't I do that? I get told to take it to fucking court or not bother. I won't do that because I don't want to traumatise my child, who is now 8 years of age, with a court case. And my ex-partner knows I won't do that. She knows I have empathy and I wouldn't do that to my own daughter, so she plays on it. Right? This is personal stuff you're getting from me now, but I know the world is not built for men. Okay? I am on your side. Even in the hobby space, I am on your side. We need to protect this space against people who would come in here and wreck it for everybody. And that includes nerd-chasing women who are here for a bit of attention. That includes them. Problem is, we also want women here because we'd like to meet them. Right? Every man in this hobby, if you said, hey man, are you straight? Yeah. Alright, would you like a no-stress hobby girlfriend who's like really cool and really likes you and likes to hang out with you and do wargaming with you? They'd all say yes. And if you don't think you'd say yes, get in the fucking sea. Don't be such a moron, right? Of course you would. Of course you'd be like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. Because everyone wants companionship. Everybody wants somebody around who's there for them, right? Everybody wants a best friend. Especially if it's romantically as well. Okay? That's what we're all here for. We're all here for companionship in the end. That's what we're here for. The more behaviours I see when you see actual cool women who are just here to paint some models and have a good time, and aren't here to, you know, basically thirst trap you and things like that. The more of those women you drive away, the less chance we all have of meeting a hobby hottie. And that's not cool, because a lot of people in this hobby are lonely. A lot of people in this hobby need companionship. A lot of people in this hobby, like dudes, would be much better people if they could just meet that one woman. The amount of idiots that I come across who are so bitter and enraged and angry and tearing their own garments at women all the time because they simply won't touch their penis. The amount of people I come across who are like that in this hobby. And those problems would be solved if they could just meet somebody in the hobby who gives them the time of day, and they won't because of their own behaviours. Their own behaviours driving away the reasonable women who would come into the hobby and go, I wouldn't mind meeting a boyfriend here, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm single. Like, you know, I'm not going to go out sleeping around, but if I met a guy and he was cool, yeah, fine. Yeah, I'll go on a date. There are tons of women like that in the hobby, but they're going away. They're going away because of attitudes like that. Okay? There was somebody, there were certain people even in that video who were saying you can't use the word incel because I disregard all of your, like, I disregard all of your opinions if you use the word incel. Why? Why? Because sometimes, mate, it's appropriate. Sometimes it's appropriate. I don't use the word incel as an insult. I use it as a condition. It's like saying, to me, it's like saying someone who's got ADHD, right? Similar. It's just, it's a condition. You're involuntarily celibate. You do not want to be celibate. You want to be getting laid. You want to be good with women. You want to be going out and to have different experiences and to be loved by the opposite sex. That's what you want. If that's what you want, why are you hating on them so much? I wouldn't sleep with somebody who I hated, or who hated me. And I'm a dude. I'll sleep with most things, right? I wouldn't, but you know what I mean. Like I'm a dude. Like I'm wired to get with women as many as I can, right? That's how I'm wired. And I wouldn't sleep with somebody who hated men. If I came across somebody who hated men, I would find that revolting, and I have done. I've gone on dates last couple of years where the woman's been like talking about women's rights stuff, that's fine. But then when I bring up men's rights stuff, they look at me like I've grown another head on my shoulders. Like, those, I just, okay, we're done. We're done. This date's over. We're done. We are done. I'm going home. Right? You're not the mother of my kids. I'm going home. If I will do that, what do you think women will do? Okay? It's all right to recognise when there is some disparity. As I always do. As I've just said. I'm a victim of it myself. Right? It's okay to recognise when there's a disparity, when men aren't getting what they should get, and when the world is basically engineered to make sure that you're not ever going to get what you're supposed to get. And the amount of people who say, and this is why men get so annoyed, the amount of people who say there's a patriarchy and there's this and there's that, there isn't. There isn't. In fact, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. You try being a straight white male right now and try and getting a job in education. Go ahead. Go right a fucking head. Okay? It's getting to the stage, I've got a friend called Sean. I'm not going to say his second name, but I've got a friend called Sean who pretended to be gay to get a teaching job. He's white. He pretended to be gay. He pretended that he had a partner. He pretended that he was a full-on, gay person to get a job. That got him an interview. He wouldn't have got one if he was straight. He knows because he tried again and again and again and again and again. Doesn't work. The minute he said that he was gay, he got a job within like 4 or 5 weeks. Could be a coincidence, could be. But, dude, it's the world is not engineered for dudes. It's not. Even from an educational standpoint, the very first thing you're going to do is place yourself at a disadvantage because you'll always be behind girls in the system, in education. You're always going to be behind them. Most of the jobs that we're going into in the world right now are in healthcare, education, right? Things like that. Heel jobs, things like that. Those are dominated by women. That's the way the world's going. The world is going away from tech. It's there, but to be into technology, you've got to be a damn good person. You've got to get really good results. Most people will be going into in one of the heel jobs, right? Do you know what I mean? So you've got heel jobs and STEM jobs, if you know what I'm saying. So STEM jobs is essentially STEM jobs is science, technology, engineering, and maths, I think. Those STEM jobs, right? Now, those are mostly male, but the actual rate is reversing. So we're going towards women getting a parity, or even getting more women in those jobs than ever, right? Which is great. You know, things should be. It should go with the talent in the labour market. It should. It should just be talent in the labour market. But what are heel jobs? Well, heel jobs are personal care workers, health associate professionals, cleaners and helpers, general and keyboard clerks, health professionals, teaching professionals, customer service clerks, other clerical support workers like, you know, being an admin, things like that, food prep, personal assistants, right? All of those are dominated by women. Look up anything you want to online about heel jobs. All of them are dominated by women. I think one thing that I saw was around 22% of that workforce is men. And all of the weight in the world is going towards heel jobs, not STEM jobs. So women are getting parity where the men are dominant in STEM jobs, right? They're getting parity there. And they're way ahead in heel jobs, which are where most of the workforce is going to be over the next 50 to 200 years. So please don't come at me with, you don't know, you're a simp, you're this kind of a guy, you're not on our side. Go fuck yourself. Do not bite the hand that feeds. I am the hand that feeds, my friend. I am here for you, and I'm helping you out. Just because I do one video where I call it down the middle, and I make sure that the other side gets a chance to have their voices and opinions heard. Do you know how many women watch my videos and just nod along and go, I agree, but I can't be in the comment section because people will rail me out for being a woman? Right? So, in response to your question, you are going a bit over the top. I don't feel like the hobby is completely that way. No. Not completely that way. But it's getting there. It's getting there. There are people out there in this hobby, and in every hobby, and in all society, who are like this, who hate women, and then wonder why they don't get any pussy, right? It's like a vicious cycle. I'm not getting any pussy. I hate women. Because I hate women, I get no pussy. I'm not getting any pussy. I hate women. Because I hate women, I don't get any pussy. And it goes around like that. It goes around. Hatred and hatred and hatred, and it goes around all the time. My point was, right, if we're straight, we want to be with somebody. We don't want to be single at the end of the day. Okay? And if you treat people with disdain, you very, very, very rarely win them over to your side. This is something the far right and far left don't seem to fucking understand. If you treat people with empathy and you try to see it from their point of view, and you explain your points in a very calm, rational, compassionate way, you know, and you're reasonable, and you know you're right because you're being reasonable, they will come around to your point of view. The minute you go in there railing against them for not touching your penis, less so. That was my point. And if you've got a problem with that, look at yourself in the fucking mirror. Number 3. What do you think of 10th so far? I know you've given some aspects of it that you like, but now you've played more games, has your opinion changed at all? It has. It has. Yeah. I haven't done a video on it yet, because my last video on 10th edition was supposed to be my last one for a while, and I'm gonna stick to that, because I'm getting sick of talking about it, and people are getting sick of hearing me talk about it. But, yeah, there are certain parts of the rules that I do not like. Death Guard, for instance, are shambolic. and an insult to everything that is chaos. If you are a Death Guard player, I would be absolutely apoplectic with rage right now with what they've done to your army. That's an absolute slap in the face. To anybody who got the 8th edition box set, the Dark Imperium box set, and thought, these Death Guard are the shit, I love these guys, I'm going to collect these guys for the rest of my days. Yeah, well, they just took a massive big dump on the back of your neck. So, well done to Games Workshop for that. And they're not the only ones. They are not the only ones. 10th edition, for me, is still a net positive. Okay? It's still a 6 out of 10. Right? So 4 negative points and 6 positive points. But I was hovering around 8 positive points and 2 negative points. Now we've gone to 4 negative and 6 positive after more and more games have been played in 10th. So I thoroughly advise anybody getting into the hobby, get yourself over to one-page rules and play those instead. They're amazing. I have so much more fun playing one-page rules than I do 40k. I do. I get several games in a day when I'm playing one-page rules. And I could play more. It's addictive. That game is addictive. And it feels like you're playing 40k. It literally feels like you're playing 40k. It's just with 90% of the absolute gumph ripped out of the game. Gone. It's so much better. And if you don't believe me, go and read the rules. Read the core rules, which is 1 page. And then go and read your army rules, which is another page. And you'll go, oh my god, this is the shit. This is how it should be. There is still complexity in there. There are still keywords, right? All of those things that you love about 40k are in 1-page rules. It's just 90% of the background noise that doesn't need to be there, that slows the game down, is gone or melded into one rule. Okay? Go and give it a watch. Go and give it a look. I'm going to do a video on it pretty soon. Alright. Number 4. Hey, do you ever get recognised in public at all? And if you do, what happens? If someone spoke to you and asked you to sign something, would you? I'm asking because I'm pretty sure I've seen you around town. Okay. It's kind of creepy. I see you, but you don't see me. Yeah, I mean, I have been recognised mainly from my voice, not from my looks, because I don't really post how I look on the internet. I do on the Discord. So if you know me on the Discord, you know what I look like. Because that's for, again, I like to keep it that way because that means if you've gone the extra mile to get to know me on the Discord, to get to know other people on the Discord, you now know what I look like and you know the real me. Here I am. Hello. You know, that kind of a thing. And it's a nice surprise for people. I've had people message me going, oh, I didn't know you, you know, I had one guy thought I was black for some reason. I don't know why. Do I have that voice? I don't know. I have a deep voice. He was like, I was sure you were black. And I was like, really? Alright, cool. I mean, that's fine. But yeah, like, people don't really recognise me from my face. They recognise the voice. That's happened once or twice. And I've been asked to sign something before, yes. That was in a local hobby store. Well, it wasn't really a hobby store. It was more of a gaming place where they did Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that rubbish. And I went in there and played some games of 40k, and some guy asked me to sign one of his Intercessor box, which he just bought, which was weird, but, you know, it is. But I'll do it. Yeah, no problem. Like, I will never, ever, ever turn somebody down for something like that. Never. It makes my day. Like, if somebody does that, I'm like, oh my god, like, yeah, sure, man, no problem. It's really cool. I do find positive reinforcement to be very awkward. So if I do look a bit awkward, like, oh yeah, sure, man, I'm loving it, but I'm just inside, I'm like, oh my god, I want to die. Because it just makes me feel really self-conscious and really awkward. But that's not your problem. You want to say something nice. That's not your issue at all. It's my issue. So I will always put myself out there. If someone wants to say hello, get a picture, get something signed, no problem at all, right? I love you all, and I want to make your day whenever you see me. So, yeah, come and say hello. Number 5. Hi North, would you ever go to conventions or anything like that to do with the hobby? It would be awesome if you did, so we could see you doing stuff there and meeting people. A Discord get-together would also be great if you could manage that. Cheers. Yeah, sure. I mean, the problem is, the issue therein is, you know, a lot of other people go to these conventions and things, okay, and they have negative things to say about the hobby. Discourse, for instance, the Discourse Miniatures, you know, tells it like it is, like she has an opinion, and she will come out and say that opinion. And she still finds comfortable to go to Warhammer Fest and things like that and have a good time. Because at the end of the day, she's just somebody on the internet giving an opinion and earning a decent crust for it. Nothing wrong with that. Turtle Biscuit did it for years, and he was the top of his game, right? So, nothing wrong with that. The problem is, I used to work for Games Workshop. That's the problem. That's the issue. I'm somebody who flew the nest, and then flew right over the nest again, and took a massive dump on it, and then carried on flying. That's not the kind of person who would be welcome back at a Games Workshop event, as far as I'm aware. I don't think I'd be welcome back, especially if people recognised me and they said no, you know, because they don't care about people talking shit about them online. They don't. They really do not like when ex-staff talk shit about them. They don't like it at all. So I would not run the risk of travelling the entire length of the country to go to an event just to be turned away when I get in there. It's embarrassing. You know, it paints them in a negative light as well. I don't want to ruin the business or anything like that, you know. Like, it paints them in a negative light. It would get around. This is the internet. You know, I would make a song and dance about it. I would say, look, I've been turned away. I can't get here. Here's my event pass. I paid for it. I'm not allowed to be here, so I'm leaving. See you later. Right? And it would just cause a furore that I'm not sure I want to be at the centre of, to be honest with you. So I don't think I'd be welcome at a convention or an event or anything like that, which sucks. It sucks. I would love to go on one of these one day, but you make your bed. You make your bed. I knew what I was doing when I made those videos. I knew what I was doing. I knew that I was burning my bridges. I knew that there'd be a lot of people there who would take exception to what I said. I knew that there'd be a lot of people there who would call it outright lies, even though I've got fucking witnesses and people on WhatsApp who will back me up, who will literally say to them, no, it's fucking not, you know. Yeah, I would, even if I was made welcome, even if they didn't kick me out, right, I would feel the eyes on me. I would feel unwelcome. I'd feel very self-conscious. And at the end of the day, I don't like Games Workshop. I will say that right now. Like I don't like the way they operate as a company. I don't like the way that they treat their customers or their trade accounts. I don't like what they do to the hobby in general. I like a lot of the people in Games Workshop, but I don't like what it stands for as an entity. I love Warhammer. I don't like Games Workshop. You can be one of the two, right? And I will always try to give them a fair shake, though, because I used to work there, and the only reason I try and give them a fair shake is because I know a lot of people there are decent folks. Very decent folks who work hard to make sure the hobby is a better place for everybody. And that's why I will always have their back. Even though I don't like them, I will always have their back. This is the thing that people struggle with in my comments as well sometimes. Duality of thought. It's something that you learn the first thing you learn when you go to university, or what you should learn when you go to a good university, is duality of thought. Is being able to see the other side. Here is my opinion, but I see where you're coming from. I still have my opinion, and it's changed a little bit by what you've said, but this is my opinion still, right? Or maybe you've convinced me. Maybe I've now got your opinion. That's duality of thought. And that's what I do on this channel. Right, left, doesn't matter to me. I take the good ideas from both, and I jammy them in together for the good of everybody. I want everybody in the world to have a job, to have a successful, fulfilling life, whether you're a man or a woman. I just call out discrepancies when I see them. And people get so partisan, people get so entrenched in their own side that they don't want to see, they don't want to see anything else. And same thing with Games Workshop. There are people who are so anti-Games Workshop that if I say anything positive about them, I get reamed out in the comments. Or I get reamed out on a Discord server somewhere. Because I dared to back up Games Workshop with something. Or there are fanboys out there who are upset that I dare to have a go at them for something that I don't think is right. You know? I don't think the 10th edition launch was done in a particularly good way. Just because it's better than 9th doesn't mean it's good. Right? 9th was a 1 out of 10. 10th was like a 4 or a 5 out of 10. If you're the best in the world at what you do, should we really be expecting a 4 or 5 out of 10 launch? Really? I don't think so. Okay? So it even happens with Games Workshop. So no, I wouldn't, because I would feel the eyes of Sauron upon me. So I don't think I'd go. Is what it is. Number 6. Hey, is there anything in the pipeline for a collaborative event? You've mentioned a few times about doing one. What does it entail and how would I go about joining? Okay, so at the moment I am in the midst of a hobby project. I've put down Warhammer for a while, and my other hobby is writing, as you know. And my other project, for those of you who've lasted this long into the video, well done. You now get some exclusive news. My other project is called Duskfall, and it is essentially a grimdark version of Europe in the Middle Ages. And lots of different things have gone on. The world looks different. Even the landmasses look different. All of the legends and gods and heroes that you know from mythology are real. So Arthur was running around for a while. King Arthur was there for a while. All that shit was going on, right? But it's got a darker, grimmer tone to it. There is a part of that world called, well, America. It's not called America at this time, but it's going to be called the Exile Kingdoms, and that is where, essentially, when a big empire fell in this setting, a load of their exiles went over to the west. They went and found new lands in the west. Those new lands will be yours. Ha! Will be yours to do with what you will. So, we are going to have a big collaborative event of people reading the actual, the core lore of the world of Duskfall, right? And then taking that lore and making brand new cultures, kingdoms, and peoples in the Exile Kingdoms. And when I bring out the rule book, the free one, for this setting, for this campaign setting, that will be the main selling point of it, is that you can make up your entire own setting within these rules. And you guys will all do that. You will have a kingdom each. So we'll have like 7 or 8 kingdoms or principalities. Each of you will make one. We'll make the culture, the flags, the sayings, the noble houses, the warrior culture, what they trade, what the land masses are like, right? And then eventually we will play role-playing campaigns based in that world. Alright? So even the kings of those places will be played by real people. So the GMs will come to the kings and say, look, there's an invasion of dragon people, of Dragonborn invading your northern shores. What are you going to do? Oh, I guess I'll send out the call to adventurers. I need more people here to fight them off. And so they will send out the call to people to say, hey, are there any adventuring parties nearby? I need mercenaries. And so real people take their characters and march over a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, or a week or two, to that kingdom, and they start fighting this event back. And we'll see the map change and warp as time goes on, as different kingdoms attack each other, and different marriage alliances even happen, and people have kids and shit. That's going to be awesome, right? And it's going to go on for years, and I'm hoping it's going to be the role-playing success story of the channel. It won't be a thing starting up until at least autumn. At least autumn. You know, it's probably going to be winter. It's probably going to be winter. But yeah, there is one in the pipeline. And I would love to take that idea and make it sci-fi, make it grimdark sci-fi as well. So I'd love to take that initial idea of not the setting, but how the setting works, and make that a something in space. So you've got, like, you know, space stations that players own, and worlds that players own, and all this other stuff. That'd be really, really cool going forward. So the first one will be in autumn as a positive estimate, but probably more like winter. But it is on the way. It is on the way. And in terms of playing video games this summer, I want to play Project Zomboid. So if any of you want to play Project Zomboid with me, hop on. We'll have some fun. We'll have a laugh. I will get a something on there for the summer. Number 7. All right, North. This may be a bit of a heavy one. Okay. A lot of people these days are talking about or actively becoming loners, as in men going their own way being one of them. What do you think about all of that? Does it work? Have you done it? Thanks for all you do. Okay, right. I think you can say from my previous answers that I don't think it works. But here's the thing. Again, duality of thought. Here's the thing. That doesn't mean I don't see any value in it. Okay, I don't think it works. I don't think it gets to the end result that you want. No. I don't think you become a happier, more rounded, fulfilled person by isolating yourself. I don't think that works. Human beings are social creatures. And not all of you are really cool sociopaths. I'm sorry, you're not. 99.9% of you will be normal people who are just a bit confused. And you think that being alone is good for you. It's not. It's not. In the end, it's not. Now, do I get solitude? Yes. I completely understand solitude. I said this before on the channel, where I say, look, men want two things. Okay? We want to be alone, but we don't want to be by ourselves. That's why we like dogs so much. I'm not equating women to dogs before you get in there. But that's why we love dogs so much. Because dogs are around. They're not in your face, they're not there all the time, but they're around. A dog could be sitting on the couch on the other end of the room. They could be in the other room chewing a toy. They could be downstairs having a sleep on the sofa. But they're around. You're not alone in your house. You're not by yourself. So you are alone, but you're not by yourself. That's what men want. A lot of the time. I'm that way. I will if I have a significant other, I will spend time with them 2 or 3 hours a night doing an activity with them, chilling out, watching a movie, doing whatever. But the rest of my time, right? I'll make them dinner, do whatever. But the rest of my time is mine. Like, no, I need solitude. I need to be by myself. I need to do my writing. I need to grade my papers. I need to play some video games. I need time by myself. So I completely get the need for solitude. I love solitude. I love my own company. I'm one of those guys. I'm quite happy being by myself and doing things by myself. Whether it be writing, whether it be playing a video game, whether it be doing whatever. I'm quite happy being on my own. That isn't the same as dedicating myself to isolation. That's not the same. And I don't think dedicating yourself to isolation is a good way to solve your mental issues. I get the men going their own way thing. I get that they're sick of the unfairness of the world. I get that. I've just spent half an hour talking about it. From the heart. With evidence, right? So, yes, I get what you mean. I get that the world isn't exactly built for us anymore. Thing is, though, what are you going to change by sitting on your couch at home bitching? You need to get out there and start killing it. Get people around you who like you. Don't go your own way. Going your own way only leads to bitterness, resentment, a chip on your shoulder, and I don't need you sort of a thing, you know? Basically all the things you accuse feminists of doing. You now choose to do yourself. Okay? You gotta be bigger than that, you gotta be better than that, you gotta front up. Front up to it. It's alright, right, you don't want me? Fine, I'll make you want me. And then it'll be my choice whether I want to give it to you or not. Right? You don't want me in that sector of work? Fine, I'll become the best person in that sector of work. And then you'll have to pay me to be here. You'll have to pay me not to leave. That's some man shit right there. That's some man shit. Right? That's what that is. So, I don't think men going their own way is something that will eventually lead to a positive outcome. I do get why it's cathartic in the moment. I get why it's cathartic, and it's very comforting to say, I've always got myself and I'm going to go my own way. I get that. Especially if you're not getting friends, or you're not getting dates, or you're not getting anything from women. You want to go your own way, that's fine. I get why that's cathartic. And I get why that's helpful for your mindset. But it's not going to help in the long term, I'm afraid. Okay? Alright. That's me. I love you all a lot. I hope you all are doing very well, and hopefully this very, very long Q&A session has been good for you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. I will speak to you tomorrow, where we're going to do some more Hobby Nightmares. and that should be really, really fun. So yeah, all is well in love and war. Love you all long time. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I've been Northern Exile, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.